Hello. Hello. Good day, good morning, good evening. Good day, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Our topic today is I want us to discuss about modern slavery, and there are many words to it. I want us to look at modern slavery. Is there a kind of slavery? Is there any form of slavery? Modern slavery, or I don't know whether I should say it trafficking or whatever. What is your opinion about that? Hey, I see you, my Valley, beautiful Valley. I see you, ladies. Thank you for being there. Modern slavery, oh, I don't know how we can call it, or can we call it trafficking in people? Hey, Bingwe, I see you. You're welcome, my beautiful sister. I want us to talk about modern slavery. Slavery. We can name it modern slavery. We can name it, how do I call it? Trafficking. We can give any name, but there is something about slavery. Yes, you missed me for a while, my dear. Yesterday I was on somebody's show, and by the time we finished, it was late. And we were talking about passion. You try to look for it. Thank you, my dear. As usual, we give God the glory. You too. I saw you wishing I think it's your baby, happy birthday. And I was like, oh, this is my beautiful lady. Yes, today we are going to talk about what is trafficking in persons, modern slavery. Is there anything as slavery that is going on? Is there any modernity in slavery? Are there some forms of slavery that are viewed like, that are seen not like slavery, that are masked, that are covered, but yet people are suffering? That's what we want to look at today. And I want us to really look at this form of slavery based upon what we do on a daily basis. Because sometimes these big words, when we hear them, we don't think that we belong. We seem not to see that we are part of it. Whereas we are really. Sometimes we just think that, no, this word is so far from us. Modern slavery, we don't have slavery. When we hear slavery, we think of slavery in those days when our brothers and sisters were taken out as slaves, when the colonial masters came and took our people. That is what we think of when we get the word slavery. But today I am here for us to look at the different forms of slavery. What is slavery? What is slavery? If somebody has the idea of what slavery is, please, could you put it on the comment box? What is slavery? I want us to share the video so that many people can come in. It's a serious topic we are discussing. What is slavery? You know, what is slavery, or what is trafficking in persons? Because trafficking in persons is simply another form of slavery. Or it is human trafficking. That is doing business with people. That is what it is all about. Using people to enrich yourself. That is it. And so human trafficking can include, but does not require, it can include movement of persons, you know, it can include recruitment of persons to use them for your personal gains. It can include recruitment of persons for prostitution. It can include as basic as getting people as babysitters and house boys, sales boys in some people's houses, whereas they work, you receive the pay. That is what we are talking about. Hey, I see you. Welcome. That is what we are talking about, trafficking in persons or modern slavery. And I don't want us to vibrate in the air, to look at the word slavery and start thinking of those days when our parents were taken away as slaves. I want us to domesticate it, this word, modern slavery, this trafficking. Let us forget about these big words, trafficking, slavery, but let us look at in our context. So what I'm talking about is, let us look. Hey, Clement, welcome, my dear brother. I'm happy to see you there. What we are talking about is, what are the things that we do that make people to walk like slaves around us? I see you, my daughter, Chanceline. What do we do that make people become slaves? What do we do that people suffer, other people suffer? I don't want us to talk about modern slavery. I don't want us to talk about, to use the word modern slavery, trafficking, because sometimes when we hear these words, we do not locate ourselves there. I want us to look in our context. Let each one of us go back to your community and look there. What are some of those things, some of those activities that are being carried out by some people, and through these activities people are suffering, people are being misused, people are suffering, people are suppressed, people are sitting under others, and then others are making gains because of others. That's what I want us to talk about today. And hey, Vitalis, I see you. Welcome, my brother. And I want us to say that, to look at it, let's start from our local levels before going out to the wider level. I like us to domesticate it. Let us speak about something that has to do with us. Now let's go to the villages. In the villages, there are some people God has blessed them more. What they do is that they go to those families that do not have. They get their children and they begin to use their children like slaves. Because their children, somebody will be who is a big person in his house. He will get a child from another poor family. That child will be the one who is cooking, babysitting, cleaning the house, doing everything. Everything. Whereas your own children are going to school, children that you have of the same age of that child, they are going to school, they are comfortable, they have time to play, they relax. But this child does not have time to relax. If this child sits and wants to relax, it's a problem. Your children are scolding at that child. You are scolding at that child. You are telling that child that so far as you are under my roof, I feed you, I'm taking care of you. You don't have to even sit and watch television. You know, in our villages, we have people who do that. In the villages, we have people who do these things. Because God has blessed you a bit more, you turn another person into a slave. You look at a family that has nothing, and then that are suffering and struggling to get somebody to support them. Then you take their child and you start using that child like a slave. That is what we are talking about. We are not talking about slave trade where people were tied and taken away. We are talking about slavery that we want to talk about the modern forms of slavery. I see you, For Me Promise. Welcome. We want to talk about those things that we do every day, reinforcing what we condemn. Every one of us, Africans, we have never liked to hear the word slavery, because we know that some countries were developed through the blood and through the time and through the work of our people. And so when you condemn something, don't do it. Don't change the name. Don't sugarcoat it and do it. In the villages that we have, I happen to work in villages and I have witnessed it. And I have also grown up in a village. I have witnessed it. We go and recruit people's children. You take somebody's child and then you start treating that child like that child has no breath. That child has no right to live just because God blessed you more. That is slavery. That is a modern type of slavery. That is sugar-coated slavery. Slavery that is hidden. How do we call it? It is hidden under what we call, how do we call it again? We call pretentious care You pretend that you want to care for somebody. You want to assist somebody. You want to help somebody who is suffering. But then what you are doing is that you are actually punishing that person. That is what we are talking about. You are actually punishing that person. So I want us to look at it. I want us to clearly see it from our own context. Just let's domesticate it and contextualize in our own place and stop looking at these big words, because sometimes these big words, we use them, we don't even understand what they are in our context, and yet we do what we condemn. If you are that person who goes to the villages and who is living in the village, but because you are well-to-do, you are sitting there, you cook food and eat, and then you take the crumbs and give to those people who are poor. You don't give them the same food you are eating because you think that you are the one who has. You want to leave them below your power. You want them to be subjective to you. Sometimes you cook food, you are eating fresh food, and you give them food. A mother is passing, she's really hungry. You take food that has been stale and give to them. That is slavery, my dear. There's no way to call it. That is sugar-coated slavery. Slavery that is hidden under something that we don't know. Many people do it without knowing. You are becoming a slave master, and you are getting people to work like slaves under you. So if you are that person in the village, or you know somebody in the village who is doing this, my dear brothers and sisters, let's talk to them. Let's talk to them, so that we should all be walking towards the kingdom of God in a good way. Some people do it so ignorantly. They don't even know that what they are doing is to be condemned. They don't even realize that what they are doing is modern slavery. They don't even realize that some of them think that they are giving a favor. Some think that is a favor to these families. That, well, if I have so much, instead of conserving it to my children, for my children and myself, if I can take your child and I'm giving you small food, it means I'm doing a favor. Many people do that. Let us condemn these acts, because we have people who do that in our families, and yet we sit quiet. Sometimes we also subject ourselves to. Some people subject themselves to. Why do you want to be so miserable because you think that you have not been blessed? Let me bring us to the Bible a bit. When God created the world, he did not give money. He gave us the soil for us to work and make food out of it and eat from it. In fact, in the Bible, when God is talking about 1/10 or the first fruit, he's talking about something that will be gotten from the farm. He's not talking about money. And when you look further in the Bible, I understood something a few days ago. When God was talking about, when Jesus came into the church and was angry, and then he beat out people who were doing business in church, it was because people were supposed to sacrifice the blood of the lamb at that time to cleanse their people in the Old Testament. But then because people could not carry goats and sheep to bring, people brought those things people who were nearby brought those things in the church, and they were exchanging it to people who needed them at exorbitant prices. But I want to say that God has given us the soil. We can till. So if you are in the village and you don't have something to eat, you are lazy. Because the soil does not lie. It doesn't fool. It doesn't fail. If you cannot have something there to sell and have extra money, you can have something there to eat. Chanceline says, thank you, mommy. This happens even in towns, from villages to towns. They are ignorant, as you say. They just have complex. May God help us. Yes, we are stepping into town, my dear. I said we should start from the villages. Even from our houses. Do you have somebody in your house who is working every minute but does not even have compensation for the work? I mean, just even compensating that person with love. Just showing love and concern. They don't have it because we think that they are subhumans. Do you have that kind of person in your family? If you do have, you and I, if we have this kind of persons in our family, that is modern slavery. We are subjecting people to suffer, and we are becoming slave masters. So if you have somebody in your home, you think the person's work is just to do all the house chores, and yet when you go to the market to buy dresses for your family, for your children, you do not think of those children. Yet when you prepare food for your family, you think that these children come last. Yet when you want to take children to go and relax, you think that these children do not have right to go and relax. If you happen to have that in your family, then just know that you are becoming a slave master. That is a good way to judge yourself and stop doing it, because many of us do it without knowing. If you happen to find yourself doing that, knowing or unknowing, I think it is about time to stop. Because actually, when we do these things, we are subjecting some people into slavery, and that is not acceptable. Because even the laws of the world have said we should stop modern slavery, we should stop trafficking. So if you are doing it in your home, or you are doing it in your community, or you know people who are doing it, you help them to stop. Now let's move on. Let us move on to town. There are some people who are living in towns, not even big towns. When I talk of town, let me liken it to Cameroon. Some people may be living in the village, in the interlands, and then some are living in Bello, for example, or they're living in Kambe town, for example, or now Bamenda, or now Douala, or Yaoundé, or Boya, or whichever. And then they think that they have an urge over the other people. This is very common within the families, my brothers. I see you, campers, welcome. Sometimes we think that we have more money, and so because we have more money, we have more power. Or maybe because we are exposed. Hey, Mercy, I see you, welcome. Or because we think that we are exposed, we studied, went to school, or you clean your face a bit and then you tie your head as I've tied mine, and you think that you are better off than the other people. Then we go back to our families and then pretend that we are helping our family members. Then we recruit their children, bring to town, and we treat them like animals. I heard something some time ago. Hey, je veux le Bamenda là. I want the child from Bamenda. Well, please, can I? People come to me and ask, I think get my own Bamenda. I asked one day, what do you mean by my own Bamenda? They said, no, Bamenda children are very good house girls. They are very good salespeople. They are honest people. Really? And they are women who have had that opportunity, both women and men, for people to come and tell them that I want a Bamenda, or I want a Boya, I want an Anglophone, or I want a this or that. And they have accepted, then go down, recruit people from their family in the name of wanting to help them, come and give them to town, and you don't even know what you are exposing your family member to. Some of these children work around the clock. They don't even have food to eat. Some of these children, you give them to people who are animals. They don't know how to handle children. They ride them like they ride horses. Some of these children sleep on the floor. They are exposed to dangerous conditions. Some of these children, like the girls, are exposed to sex, to rape. Some of them are even used for exchange for sex. Some, I know we've once met a place, a kind of brothel, where people were recruiting young girls from their parents. They would tell their parents that we want to go and give these children jobs in town. And then they will say, some of our friends need children to help them. So, no, we take this speaking like babysitter. We want to go give me help, me the work. They will pay. Whereas we have arranged with the person who is supposed to be paid, say 50,000, then we go to the village and say, I get some person where he don't talk, say, make, he go to pay, you are picking go to stay for your house, they look at your picking, he go to give you 5,000 or 10,000 every month. Not a big thing that, because mothers and parents are very desperate, they will say yes, and they will accept and give you their child. Then when you take the child, what do you do with these children? Many of us take these children, then we come. The person who has contracted you to go and bring the child will be paying you maybe 50,000. You are removing 40,000 and then giving 10,000 to this child. That is if they even give. And in some cases, the 10,000 is even sent to the child's parents. So you, that kind of parent, you are also contributing to trafficking your child. Because your child is working, she doesn't see money, good food she doesn't eat, she's sleeping on the floor, or maybe if I thought she even have a floor to sleep on, she does not even have things to wear. She is training throughout. She walks on, in fact, like a slave. She is a slave. And at the end of the month, you, the so-called woman or man who came from town and took that child, they will pay you 50,000. You take 40,000 and eat, and then take, say, 10,000 or 5,000 sent to the parent of the child, and then lie that 5,000. I began for 7 at 10,000. I don't give 5,000 for the picking me buy something. You know, say, well, if you just leave picking, if you just the work, so whereas you have not given. Sin, shame on you, shame. That's sinful. Many people are doing this. Some time ago, I said in one of my shows that, please, if somebody wants to come online, you tell me. Let me read what Chancellor has said. Chancellor says, if you think you are better than others, then create your planet and live there alone, not even with stones, because they talk. If you are a Christian, I'll refer you to Deuteronomy 24:14. Very good. Chancellor, if you have the opportunity, you post what Deuteronomy 24:14 says there on the comment box. Very good. When you do these things, do you think that you are doing God's will? Somebody told me one time ago, said, Tilda, I am very happy because I think God is blessing you, because God has realized that when God blesses you, bless some other people. Are you open that people can say that about you? Meaning that when you are blessed with even 1,000 francs, try to bless another person. When you amass everything to yourself, does it make sense, brothers and sisters, that you have everything and every other person around you is suffering? That you climb and stand on other people because they don't have, and then you start forcing people into modern forms of slavery, sugar-coated by the fact that you say you want to help them? I'll come back to the story I shared one time. One time ago, when I was working in Bamenda, one morning we were called, and we were called in our office. In fact, the call came in at night. It was not yet morning. I was still sleeping, and the call came in saying that there is a young girl who is suffering in Bafusam. I went to Bafusam the next morning. We went and met a young girl who had been abandoned on the way. She had been raped. And then when we took this young girl to hospital, we started following up to see what happened. And we were so shocked that this girl was living with somebody she called auntie, who is supposed to be a family relationship of her, who went and took her from the village, was somewhere from Donga Mantu, brought her to town, to Bafusam, and then subjected her to be selling meat. And what she did was that this girl had to sell the meat. Every day she gave meat for about 5,000 francs to this girl. This girl was not up to 12, she was about 10 or 12 years. They will give meat to this girl, and then they will ask this girl to make sure that she sells all the meat. You don't have to come back home if you have not sold all the meat. So if she sells even 4,900 and then 100 francs is left, she must stay and finish selling the meat before she comes back. And she starts doing that in the night. This girl was doing that every day until one day she was raped. Each time she was raped. Now let me see. Reagan, welcome, my dear. Clement has said 14. Don't abuse a laborer who is destitute and needy, whether he is a fellow Israelite living in your land and in your city. That is the verse. Thank you, my dear. Deuteronomy 24:14. It is clear. Do not abuse a laborer, whether the person is an Israelite, whether the person is from the junk place that we think some people are junk and we are better off, whereas I think nobody is better off than the other person. Because why? This air that God has given to us, everybody breathes it, whether you are a billionaire, whether you are a trillionaire or not. Everybody breathes this air. Everybody goes to toilet. When the rain falls, it falls not only on the rich, it falls on everybody. The sun that is shining outside is shining on all of us, brothers and sisters. So the Bible has reminded us in Deuteronomy 24:14. Thank you, Clement, for posting it, and thank you also, Chancellor, for bringing that up. Deuteronomy 24:14 has said that we should not punish, we should not treat people, we should not abuse people, laborers in our house, whether they are destitute, they are needy, they are from the Israelites. This means that God was talking at that time in the context of the Romans, of the Egyptians and the Israelites. If you, whether you are even an Egyptian, you are even one of the Israelites, and you think that you have a bit more, and you're looking low on somebody and you're punishing that person, God has condemned it. That is slavery. That's what we are talking about today. Now, the story of that girl, let me rush through that story. That girl, we've discovered that girl was brought by the so-called aunt who coded that I want to help this child. You are suffering with this, your children. Let me take this one, go and help. And then you came and subjected the child to be selling. I see you, Clotilde. Hey, I see you, beautiful Joy. Welcome, my dear. They came and subjected that child to be selling beef. And then if you don't sell all the beef, you don't come back home. So this day, the girl was struggling to finish, and she was raped severally by so many people. This woman was sleeping comfortably in her house. Chanceline says, I'm really happy for this topic. Keep educating the population. Where I am presently, it's rampant, mommy. If I need a house help now for nothing, I'll get within a twinkle of an eye. What's happening to mankind, for God's sake? You find a girl of about 19 years who has never been to school and can't write nor read, yet working as a domestic helper. You who has employed that girl, what do you think that girl's future will be? Thank you, Chanceline. Why do you think that girl's future would be? That your children are going to school and this child is not going to school, and you are so comfortable that this child should be taking care of your children. You are not paying that girl. If this girl has chosen to that is her way of work, and you are paying her well, that is better. But we don't pay them. We subject them, and then our children talk to them anyhow. Our children will even go to the extent of insulting these girls or houseboys, illiterate thing, fool, this slave. You are a slave in our home. And then we will applaud our children. We don't even care what is happening. Shame on us. Shame on humanity. Shame on us. Joy says, this is a wonderful topic, Big Sis. We cannot live in an island. When you bless others, God multiplies your own blessings. Yes, my dear sister. Yes, beautiful. This is true. When you bless others, I am talking from experience. When you bless others, I am where I am today because people blessed me. And when I also bless people, God triples my blessings. We need to change this narrative. Chanceline again says, even church workers, mommy, our gifts are all to be compensated. Men of God should stop using others in the name of work of God. The Bible clearly says that our gifts and talents are to be paid for. Yes, my dear. This is what we are talking about. I am happy that we are contextualizing this topic. Anytime we hear about slavery, we look at the other person. You know, on this my forum, I don't even like it when I'm talking and somebody says, tell them. Better say, tell us. That is why I always say us, and I include myself in it. When you start saying tell them, it means that in your mind you think that some people are doing it and you are not doing it. If you are not doing it, there are people around you doing it. What have you done to stop it? If you stay quiet, it means that you condone with that. I see you, Destiny 11. Welcome, my beautiful. If you are not saying something against it, it means that you are condoning with it and you are party to it. We have to stop it. We have to stop it. Let's stop saying that, tell them, like you are talking to them and I am out of it. That is what we do in church. And so all the preachings, all the sermons have disappeared because when we are listening to a sermon, we are likening it to somebody somewhere and we are not contextualizing it. We are not locating ourselves in there to see what we do in that we can change. We keep looking at, oh, no, yes, pastor was talking to this person today. What of you? What of you? Thank you, Dara, for sharing the video. Let's share, please. Share so that people can listen to this. Share so that people can bring ideas on board that will help all you and I. Yes, Clement, tell us. We should tell ourselves. If you listen to me, I'm always saying us, and I put myself there because nobody knows everything. We are learning in the process. Every day we learn. Some contributions here help me a lot. In fact, I've never paid attention to Deuteronomy 24:14, and I've learned that, which is such a strong verse. You know, it is so sad that we are doing this. Destiny says, since we have come a long way, it happens, ma'am. Yes, it does every day. Yes, Clement, it does. And all of us are so condoning to it, because we just think that no, it's happening in that house. That's the person who is doing it. When the person goes to God, God will judge that person, not me. He will judge you and I too if we don't try to condemn it. He will judge you and I. If you are in a neighborhood where somebody is really treating somebody's child so badly, so poorly, my dear, it is better to speak out and become an enemy of that person than to stay quiet, and at the end of the day, you have nothing to tell God when God will ask you, I saw you, I came to you, I was hungry, I came, you did not give me food. I was cold, you did not give me something to cover. God will say to you, I was being punished in a house. You knew it. You said nothing. Oh, Lord, help us. We have to start talking about these things. Let's talk about these things. Let's shout loud and clear. Stop thinking that it is some other person's business and not yours. Joy says, exactly, before you point a finger on someone, first look at your own. Examine yourself. Yes, my dear. Put a mirror on the wall and look at yourself. What am I doing that is contributing to this thing? Now, those mothers who think that they are so desperate, or fathers who think that they are so desperate, you keep delivering children and then you start distributing them to people without bothering whether these children are going to be comfortable or not. You have something to answer. God is going to blame you because these children did not write for you to deliver them, and so you have a responsibility to educate these children. You have a responsibility to take care of these children. They did not ask that you deliver them. They did not even ask you to go enjoy yourself. Yes, my beautiful Eleanor, she says, good topic. I wish we could change our way of life by treating our house helps like our own. I love this topic. Keep it. Thank you, my dear. We are in this together. We have to educate ourselves and educate people around us. In fact, last night when I slept and this topic came to my mind, I was like, the day should break quickly because it is burning. We need to talk, because the idea that God gave to me last night was, what are other people who are not ill-treating people's children saying about this? Are we just quiet about it? Are we condoning by being quiet? Do you have somebody in your family who is ill-treating another person's child? Again, let me come with another point. Some people in town, what they do is that they take these children from the village, come and give them to sex workers. There are some places, some brothels in town where they recruit people's children, both boys and girls, and then they subject them to sexual activities. And then you are the one taking the payment. Oh, come on. And then some of us sit quiet and say those things are only happening in the Western world. Like that thing they happen for Europe. There are places in towns, in big towns, where there are strippers, brothers and sisters. Some time ago, I was part of a program. We were trying to write a project to fight against ill treatment when people travel out of the country. And so we used 5 countries, African countries, as a sample, to look for things that we will use to justify. And we were looking at, because when we went to Europe, we visited what they call red light areas and other places, and we were told that we discovered that many children leave Africa, go to Europe, and they prostitute. And we in Africa, we don't know. So we now said, okay, let's go back to Africa and see if these people come with some of these pervasive habits also are being practiced in Africa. We went to 5 African countries: Cameroon, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Congo. And I was so shocked. I will not talk about other countries. I was shocked that in my country, I discovered strip clubs. I discovered high level of prostitution. I discovered young people who are brought to town under the mask of wanting to help them, and they are given to these places. They work there as sex slaves, and they are paid They are not paid directly. Their payment is paid through somebody who gives them what they want. Shame on us. Shame on us. If that is your business, then you are doing a wrong business, because you are not prostituting, but you are leading someone to prostitute. Joy says it is not good to suffer in silence, and that is what a lot of us are doing without even knowing. We should learn to speak out, because when we speak, we educate a lot of people. Yes, my beautiful lady, we speak. When you speak, you educate people, and you also educate yourself. When you speak, you create an awareness. The Bible will ask, God will ask you, when I was suffering, being used like a slave, what did you say? What did you say? What did you do? Did you just stood by and watched me being treated like that, or you spoke out against it? We are going to answer this someday. We will answer this someday. Now, another thing is that stop jumping. You can hurt yourself. Where's your phone? Take. Yes, take this. 1 minute, please. Let me attend to this young man. Take. Go and sit there. Take it and watch it. Yes, so we are going to answer to this. You know, we take young boys and give to people in the name of sales boys. These boys work all their life, and then when they are getting to the time of leaving, what happens is that the masters will start playing some game. They'll cook and bone story and say that this child has stolen my money, this child has done this, and then they dismiss the child without paying. Shame on you. All the work that child worked and made you to become a big person, you will be the one you will have an account to render when you see God. Yes, I see you, Bertrand. I see everybody who is there. You're welcome. Please share the video. Let other people follow up. There are many things that we do. There are sales boys in town. They don't eat. At 4 a.m. they're already out of bed. They go clean the shops. They open the shop, and then they have to spend the day running from the shop to the magazine to bring things. They have to spend the day looking for customers. They have to spend the day without eating. Then at the end of the day, when they go home, they don't even have good food to eat. If at all they give them food, they may not even give them enough food. If that child were to take 100 francs from what she is selling to buy something to eat, he will be punished as if he killed somebody. They will cut the 100 francs from his salary, and then they will punish him. They will tag him a thief, and you will just give him psychological torture. But because this child has nowhere to turn to, the child has to stay there. Because this child's parents back in the village are saying that you have to start working money, your friends are working money, the child has to subject themselves to that. Because this child is living with somebody who is there, the child has to subject his or herself to that. Yes, Clement, businessmen and women, they are doing a lot of ill. Without, whether they know it or not, whether it's conscious or unconscious, that is modern slavery. I see you, Ruth, my sister. Welcome. That is modern slavery. We are doing it. We are doing it. People should stop suffering in silence. If you have your shop and you're treating... Stop disturbing. If you have your shop, you have your sales boy or sales girl, and you're treating them fairly, but then your next door neighbor is not treating theirs fairly, and you're quiet, my dear, you also have something to answer to that. You have to speak out. Have you ever, in your business meetings, do you people discuss how you treat your sales girls? Do you discuss it? You business women, you deliver children. When you are treating your sales girl or sales boy like that, if someone were to treat your daughter like that or your son, will you be happy? These are questions we have to start asking ourselves. Do you like the way you see that person treating that child? Do you like the way you are treating that child? If it were your child, will you like it? 1 minute, please. Let me attend to this young boy. Jeremy, come. Let's go outside. Let's go. Yes, good boy. Come. Go and take. See. Sorry for that, guys. As a grandmother, I just have to do that. Once in a while, I have to prioritize him too. Yes. So, when we do these things, when you go to your business meetings, women, do you bring this out, or you people go there and only talk about your money? Money gotten, when they talk of ill-gotten wealth, that is one aspect. If you get your money by standing on people, by treating them like animals, then that is ill-gotten wealth. We have to be very careful and careful over what we do. God has to help us, Clement. God has to help us. Clotilde said the heart of man is really wicked. Yes. When you see what people do. Now, let me go back to what I was doing. When I saw what I was saying about the project. When we visited places in Yaoundé, in Douala, in Bamenda, I was shocked to discover that those things are right under our nose trees. That there are women, there are men who recruit children from the villages, then they bring them to town and subject them to these dirty habits, subject them to become prostitutes, both boys and girls, subject them to become not only prostitutes, subject them to become food for man, to become slaves. Are you one of those persons who subjects other people's children to become slaves? It means that you are a slave master and you are reinforcing child trafficking, human trafficking, and you are sugarcoating it and then calling it is, I want to call it with the name, modern slavery. Hey, Mercy, I see you. Welcome, my beautiful girl. I really love your programs too. So we have to change. This mentality has to change. This mindset has to change. Trafficking, as I said earlier, trafficking in human trafficking or modern slavery, I don't want us to look at those big words. Let us put it in our context. This is what we do in our villages and towns. Yes, you recruit somebody. I also have cases of children who have been recruited in the name of wanting to help them, brought to town, and then they provide, they give them, they place them in places. There are women and men sitting in they have offices, They even name the offices, we are giving employment, we offer employment, and they make posters all over the place. People bring their children thinking genuinely that you want to give them employment. You take the children and then you place them like placement in different places. At the end of the month, you go around and collect the money, and then you give nothing to these people. Sometimes you take small and send to the children's parents back home. You, that parent who is receiving that money, you are collaborating in making your child a slave. So if you have people in your family who have children and they are not able to take care of those children for whatever reason, I don't understand. Because I don't know how you can deliver your children and then you don't know how to take care of. Some people are experts in delivering children, child machine. But to take care, they don't want to take care. You see a man who will have more than 5 wives and will have children all over the place. One man will be boasting that I have 20 children, but he is not able to take care of them. And then he starts also, another thing that promotes this too is that he starts giving trouble to family members who are struggling and are living in town. Every day you are telling the family members that you people are better off and you have forgotten us. You are not taking care of us. Did that family member ask you to deliver so many children? When you go and deliver so many children, you have to take care of. You don't have to take your children and tag them on other people. Because it is because of this kind of thing and desperation that some of the people in town have decided to be using your children so violently and carelessly. When you sit down to deliver children, you should decide and consciously believe that you are going to take care of those children. Many people in villages, in fact, it needs not democracy this time, it needs dictatorship to inculcate in the minds of people that when you deliver children, you should be able to take care of them. People deliver children carelessly and they don't take care of them. And then after some time, you see them pointing fingers on people who have struggled throughout their life. Somebody in the family has struggled with her children or his children until the children went to school and they are working. And then you did not even give water to these children. At one point, you start telling them, this is my brother, I picking them. They be big people there for town. They need to even look at my picking them. My uncle is picking them. My brother, his sister is picking them. Then they look at, like in com, they will say, one jump to yam kiwi, one jump, that my nephews and nieces, they are not looking at my children. Did they ask you to have those children? How should they look at them? They too have their own families. This is a ring that we have put in place, and this ring is troubling us. This ring is killing us. People deliver children they cannot take care of. And then they start tagging the children on people. And then people too now say, okay, since you are forcing us with these children, we will take these children and we'll use them the way we want to use. Yes, mercy, ill-gotten wealth. It doesn't last. It doesn't. And what you do, as you say, comes back to you. I like that statement. Thank you, mercy, for that. Let us be careful. What you do, at the end of time, Jesus will ask you. On the throne, God will ask you. You saw me suffering in somebody's house. What did you say? We have to jointly put our voices and shout out. And you can just shout out by sharing this video for other people to see. It means that you are contributing also to this. You can shout out by putting a point on that comment box and sharing so that people should read. We need to shout out on this. Another form of slavery, modern slavery, is hidden under security, how do they call it? Security guard companies. Security guard companies, they recruit people's children, and then they place them as security people all over the place. But then they are the ones who discuss the contracts. Month end, they pay the money to their company, and I tell you, God alone knows what they give to those people who risk their lives sleeping outside, and the only protection they have is some button some rod that has been given to them for security. God alone cares for them, but at the end of the month, you will see that they don't even have a place to stay. You visit the place that they are staying. I once went for the death celebration of somebody who was said to be working at that time as a security guard in the American embassy. And at that time, the American embassy had not yet started recruiting their own people directly as they do now, because this time, they are the ones who recruit their people. They have their own service. They recruit and train, and they pay them well. In those days, they used to pay through companies. And so the man died. And we had to go for, may his soul rest in peace, we had to go for his wake keep because the wife was our member. We were so shocked when we got there. We saw the man living in a house like a rat mole. But everybody who was going there was saying that we are going to our friend who is, our friend's husband has died. That man who works in the American embassy, stating the embassy's name for nothing, but the company that recruited him and gave to American embassy were the ones who were eating fat. That is another component of slavery. There's a lot of slavery there. People recruit people and give, and then they organize the contracts, they receive the pay, but why don't you even take small and give more to that person? They receive the pay and they give something so small and they don't even care. Throughout the month, the rest of the month, if that person is having somebody who is sick, they don't even bother. When they even buy food, they don't even give. If you were even doing that and then you could buy some food and give them too, when you travel, you bring food and give them, or you could once in a while even take care of them in one way or the other, God will look at you. But we are so wicked. The heart of man is wicked. Now I am gradually going to the real trafficking in people, modern slavery. Some years back, I did a video like this. If someone were to dig into my page, into my videos, you'll see a video I did some time ago of girls who were calling us from Kuwait at that time, who had been taken out by people, recruited by people. This so-called, we are providing travel opportunities to girls, and you would travel and work. Travel and work in Europe, that's what they say. Attractive posters. Then these people come, they want to travel and work. They are genuinely people, parents. I know of people who have borrowed money, genuinely looked for money and given to some kind of companies who have looked for so-called visas and given to their children to go out without even knowing where these children are going to. And the parents did it so genuinely. Oh my God. They are sitting there knowing that their children are succeeding, but their children are suffering. Some of them are told that they want their children to go to America, but at the end of the day, the children are sent to Dubai, to Kuwait, to the Middle East, or to some countries that have nothing to offer to these children, or countries that have strict rules. Then the children go there and start suffering. It is going on like that. A year ago, 2 years ago, I think, last year, I was traveling I was going to Maputo. No, not to Maputo. I was going to Uganda for work. And then I traveled in a plane with some 6 girls from Cameroon. They joined us in the flight when we stopped over in Douala. The 6 girls joined. Just from their dressing, the way they were talking, the way they looked, I suspected something. So when we got to Nairobi, we came out at the airport. I now greeted them. And in fact, I discovered because I had to lay over there for some hours, for about 5 hours, and they had 10 hours layover. So I went closer to them and then I said, hi, my name is this is what I do. I'm a gender activist. I work to protect people. I'm a human rights defender. Then they felt comfortable. Then I said, and who are you? It looks like we're coming from the same country. They said, yes. Then I said, and where are you going to? They told me they are going to Jeddah. What are you going to do in Jeddah? We have been recruited. We are going to work. Immediately in my mind, the idea of trafficking came. And then I said, you are going to work, really? Okay. Hey, I see you, Israel. Welcome. Faith, you are there. Welcome, beautiful. I said, you are going to work? They said, yes. I said, okay. So who recruited you? We have been recruited by a company in Boya. A company in Boya, yes. I said, are you sure of this company? No, we are very sure. The company is led by a pastor, a man of God. I said, really? They said, yes. I said, okay. So did they give you the name of the places where you're going to work? Are you going to work in one place or you are going to work in different companies? We don't know. So who is going to receive you? Well, they told us that some people will be there at the airport to receive us. Okay, so if you go and you don't get those people, because sometimes I try to look at things differently. Is that Bronjo I'm seeing? Welcome, my dear. Welcome, beautiful. Hey, I just saw your photo and then, yes. And then the girls told me, I said, okay, I became anxious to know more. So I told them, so if you go and you don't get the person who has to receive you, what will you do? They said, no, the person will not fail us. I said, okay, show me let me see your flight ticket. And I was shocked. Hey, Patience, welcome, my dear. Bobe Sylvester, welcome. I was shocked when I looked at, hey, Favor, I am proud you are there. I was shocked when I looked at their tickets. They had tickets that were paid one way. But they told me that, well, if we go there and we are frustrated, we'll come back. When I looked at the flight tickets, they had been paid one way. Meaning that these children were going somewhere. The children, why? Their ages ranged between, how do they call it? The ages were ranging between 15 and 24. Yes. And then I said, so if you go there and you are blocked, what will happen to you? Will you be able to come back? They said, we will come back. I looked at them and I did not see their way of coming back. And I wept. I wept, my dear brothers and sisters. I wept because I could see that these children were in trouble. Some of them were very excited. Only 2 of them were really not happy because they started seeing that there was something wrong. They were going to suffer. And then they said, Auntie, how can we help? How can you help us? I could not help them. I was also traveling and my flight time was getting closer. The only thing I did was that I gave them my number. I said, take my number. If ever you are frustrated there, you will call. When I was giving the number, I actually knew that they may be frustrated to the extent that they will not even have a place to call me. But I was more frustrated than them because I did not know how to help these children for real. I was more frustrated than these children, but I didn't know what to do. Yes, Mercy says that's pure trafficking, real trafficking, my dear. I saw it myself. I lived it. And when my time had to go, came for me to go, I had to leave. I didn't know what to do. I went back to Cameroon. When I finished my work, I shouted about it. I was talking about it. I did not know. I still have a memorable photograph that I took with those children. Bobe Sylvester says these children producing machines are naive. They don't. Children producing machines are naive. They don't discern and just take things for granted. Proud to tell friends that you have 20 plus children, and known to count on is a sort of slavery, boiling down to slave trade. Yes, my brother. We need to sensitize our families. Each of us has to go back to our family members, identify those people who are baby producing machines in our families, and talk to them. Before you consciously accept to deliver a child, be ready to take care of that child, because God is going to hold you accountable. You are going to answer to God. What did you do with these children? How did you take care of them? And those of us who have put up organizations, we are trafficking in children. It is terrible, my dear. It is still going on. Every day we are recruiting people. It is true that some of them go and succeed, but I know some that have gone and come back because they have suffered. Those ones who even have the luck to come back, we thank God. Some of them have died there. Some of them are subjected to prostitution. When they get there, they seize their passports. They have nowhere to turn to. They are subjected, they are placed in homes where they don't communicate with anybody. They are only working, they are not even paid, because the person who is the employer in that house had paid that company that brought you. God alone knows how much they paid them. They had paid, and your parents have also paid. I know of women who are running frustrated back home because they borrowed money from banks, from meetings, hoping that their children will be able to work and pay back and help them pay back the money, but yet they are not able to pay back. Brothers and sisters, I want to talk to people who are so desperate about their children going out, and also for children who are desperate about going out. Look, it is true that our situation in our country is desperate. People don't have jobs. People are lazy. People not lazy. People don't have jobs. People are suffering. People need to work to survive. There is misery. This is true, and I live it too. I know it. But I want to challenge us, because as I'm talking to you, I am a widow. I had 4 children. I became a widow as a young woman, and I did not have a job. I've never worked for government until today, but I decided to struggle. You have to struggle. I decided to work under people. I would go and work with people who were trainers, who were organizing things. I decided to go and work. There was a time, people who know unique printers, I will go there and collect books. When they print people's books, I will pack them. At the end of the day, they will give me maybe 3,000, 5,000. I was going to people's offices and begging to clean the offices. My first daughter went to secondary school because of that. I wanted that child to go to college. I will go around begging people, walking in people's houses, cleaning their offices, and then they will give me 3,000. I'll pass through the Baptist Center and pay for deposit for my child's school, until they discovered that I was really straining. And then they told me, look, madam, we are going to we'll admit your daughter. Go gently, we'll admit your daughter. I was doing that every day. I even went working in people's farms just to get money. I'm using this example to challenge us. It is not all about, what if we did not have other countries that we should go to? What if every country was like our country, where there are no jobs? What will we do? There are still some people who have jobs to offer. The thing is, in our countries, we don't want to do what we call menial jobs. We have tagged some jobs menial jobs. And then those of us who are able to pay for those jobs, we don't care. We don't care. We don't even care. Hey, Colbert, you are there. I'm proud you are here, brother. We don't care about those who are working for us. We don't pay them because we think that those jobs are not important. My dear brothers and sisters, you can make it. Like our brother Colbert. Colbert is a blogger. Colbert writes news. Colbert is struggling. Colbert has something they call in her shoe, men working to promote women. Colbert has been struggling and he is succeeding. Why can't we struggle and succeed? I struggled like that, and then finally, because of the way I was being treated, even when I go to work in people's offices, I decided to come out with gender empowerment and development. And it is an organization where we struggle to treat people equally there. Even when we don't have the little we have, all of us struggle. We struggle to succeed there. Thank you, my brother, and to God be the glory. When you struggle, God will help you. Rather than always thinking, look, let me tell you what people have said to me. People have insulted my children. They say, your mommy just want for the worker all over the world. You know, one take una to go out. How can this woman be everywhere? She does not want her children to go out. My dear, if you don't know where your child is going to, don't take your child. Don't send your child, facilitate your child going out. Because you are sending your child to go and suffer. Only God can help those children. Ah, yes, men in women's high heel shoes. Yes. I love that their program, Never You Kill It, Colbert. It is very educative. Now, some people have said, come to me and say, no, we'll give you like 2 million. Me, you take with Peking, go out. Man, take and go put them for outside. When you refuse, they will say you are so wicked. My dear brothers and sisters, I travel because I go for work. The people invite me, they facilitate process of visa, and then they pay for my stay. They pay my hotel, they feed me. I don't just go like that. So I don't even know how much they spend because I suffer. Because I don't spend my money. I just go there. Sometimes they put you in a posh hotel. You are even wondering why they did not give you the money. So when I say to people, no, if your child has a place to go, look for a proper place and make it proper. People say you are this. I went to France once and I saw real that trafficking in people. I saw beautiful girls and boys selling boiled corn. They will put it in a bag and they are pulling around. Some of them say, I want to give you charm. So that means you charm mommy like you. You want white mommy like you. I will help you. You know, in where they call Ribabes. What is going on there? I asked one lady from Senegal, so you left your country to come and begin to roast corn in France? Can't you roast corn in Cameroon and also in Cameroon or in Senegal? I am saying this to say that there is greener pastures in some countries, my dear brothers and sisters. But let us be careful the way we push our children or we take ourselves to those greener pastures. Let us do it in a way that we will not suffer. Colbert says, now working to curb violence against women. Yes, my dear, online. I've seen it too. And I really, really do admire what you do, Colbert. Rachel says some people go to other countries for pride. Yes. You just take pride and then you go to a place where you suffer. It is true that people, when they suffer, some people succeed. Yes. I'm proud of everyone who suffers and succeeds. Many have suffered and have succeeded. But it is not in all cases, especially nowadays when they are going to Middle East. They go and suffer. They go and strain. Yes, you can do it. You can make it. If you are not a success story in your country, if you are not struggling to succeed in your country, wherever you go, you will not succeed. This is true. If you're a lazy person, you will not succeed. Now, let me come back. Some of the young people are trafficking themselves, young women and young men, because they have developed laziness. You give them a job, they don't want to work. They want to eat money without working. That is why you have seen young people going into drugging, because when they drug, they do things that will give them easy money, fast money. You have seen young women going into prostitution. They go to the university. Instead of struggling to study, in the evenings, you go to particular strategic points. They are standing there and prostituting. They don't want you to see them. They start throwing insults at you when you are passing. When a man is driving past in a car with a woman, they want to kill the woman because they feel frustrated that why is the man having a woman and not there? I tell you, a lot is going on, and some people are trafficking themselves. They have subjected themselves to slavery. Are you that young woman or young man who has subjected yourself to slavery because of laziness? You want to get fast money? Are you a slave to drug? Because there are people who are slaves to drug. You only hear them speak when they have drugged themselves. Then they go around doing terrible things. Are you a slave to prostitution because you want to have fast money? Come on. Slavery, modern slavery. There is a huge variety of modern slavery. Either you take somebody's child and subject that child to suffering, or you take that somebody's child and then somebody is paying you and the child is not seeing any franc, or you recruit that person in the name of maybe a security company, and then they're paying all the money to you and the person is suffering and not having money, or you subject the child to be a business, to be a sales girl or your sales boy, and you subject that child to suffering. Let us shout against these things, my dear brothers and sisters. Let us shout out against these things. I am here today to say that it is about time we break the silence and speak out. Whether you are subjecting somebody to modern slavery or not, if you have seen somebody subjecting others to modern slavery, you speak out. Because keeping silent, if we don't break the silence, we are condoning it and we are contributing to it. If you are contributing to it in any way, my dear brothers and sisters, it's about time we start talking about these things. Let us talk about these things beginning from our family, like what Bobby Sylvester has said. If we go to our family members, let us educate them to deliver children they can take care of. Let us educate them. Marriage is not only about children, my dear. Some people think that once you get married, you just have to be delivering children. I was watching a program today on paternity court, and I saw a boy who came there for a paternity issue to talk about the fifth child. He said he has 5 children. The boy is just 20 years old, but he has 5 children. 20 years with 5 children, that is a shame. Thank you, Rahel. 20 years with 5 children. You don't even have your own to eat. You are still a child and you have 5 children. Some people think that you have sex just to have children. It's dangerous. You need to have children you can take care of. Hey, Chanceline, I really am loving you, my dear. People, please contribute. I want people to contribute. It's very important. It's helping us. Chanceline says some people travel because of too much appetite for fame, for money that will have no use. You see one person with 5 or 6 iPhones. For what? Be contented with what God has blessed you with. Slavery into quest of money, cause vanity is all that which we seek for. Not that money and iPhones aren't good. They are good. I have just one and it's enough for me. Let's swallow our pride and appetite. Yes, that's a big thing. If you have more than one phone in Africa, because the internet is difficult and you are able to have different suppliers because you need that, it's not a problem. If you have more than one phone, not for the pride of it, it's not a problem. But it is crazy when people travel just because they want to show off. It is crazy. It is crazy, my dear people. When you do that just to show off, we have to stand out and stand tall. We have to change the narrative of what is going on. We have to educate beginning from our families. If you are within your family, I think that if each one of us goes back to our extended family and we conscientize them, we sensitize them on the importance of having children we can take care of, on the importance of delivering children we can take care of, on the importance of educating our children, on the importance of not looking at other people and shaming them, because many families they are so angry with people who have succeeded, whereas the person succeeded without your help. Somebody struggles and succeeds, and you sit there and say, this person is living in Yaoundé, they have money, they are not helping our family, my children are suffering, one jump to yum, that's what they say in come. How you go once say, may your sister picking they help you, when you never even help them when they grow? Did they ask you to have those number of children? This is the witch hunting that we have started in our families that has promoted in one way this trafficking in children, this modern slavery. Because if somebody has struggled and has become somebody tomorrow, rather than instead of you going to beg that this person should help you, you want to make it as if it's a right. You are shouting and you are forcing the person, hey, my brother, Kimbo Vincent, you are always on board. Thank you for being there, my dear. Share the video on your page so that people can follow and also contribute. I see my brother Horatius. You are always there too. I really like it. Thank you, my brother. You are a very supportive person. Look, if you deliver children, take care of those children. Stop bothering people in towns with children. And then you cause them to recruit your children. And then because they want to show that they are helping you, they give them to some people who are misusing the children and they don't even know. Then they become contributors to child trafficking without knowing, innocently. I want each of us to go back to our families. I see you, Clarice. Welcome. Let's go back into our families and educate our family members. When you deliver children, take care of them. When you are ripe for children making, be ready to make children that you can take care of. Stop tagging your children on other people. And stop bothering people to help you with your children. Because they did not help you when you were enjoying to make that child. Look, child trafficking is real, brothers and sisters. Slavery, modern slavery is real and it is killing our children. Many of our children are suffering in towns, in big towns, in people's houses because we have pushed them there in the name of wanting them to go for greener pastures. Let me tell you something about human trafficking. Human trafficking, which is this modern slavery we are talking about, has different levels. There's the level of sex trafficking. When an adult engages in commercial sex, or acts of such, that is sex trafficking. There are people who go to villages, recruit people's children, come back to town and subject them to sex, to unwanted sex. Put them in brothels, put them in stripper places, and they are there stripping just because they don't even know where to go to. Are you doing that? Are you contributing to that? Then you should be careful. There are people who do child sex trafficking. They take people's children and they traffic with these children. They subject these children to. Let me give you another example. Once I was in France, we were driving from one province in France going back to Paris, and we saw one young woman drowning. When we stood, she ran, then she came to us. And what she told us was alarming. I am saying this to come to another form of trafficking. She told us that we should help her. We said, help you for what? She said she has been running like this for more than 2 hours. Running away from what, my dear girl? She said she was running away from her supposed husband. Her supposed husband who came to Cameroon. And when I asked, which country are you from? She said, Cameroon. I was like, I should disappear in this car because we were from different countries, different African countries, and we were out for work. I was like, should I disappear from this place? Because it was shameful. I said, so what happened? She said they came and got married to me. And then the man came here. Immediately we got to France. He seized all my documents. And then he has been forcing me to be sleeping with dogs. That was my first time to come in contact with such information. I was scandalized and I was shocked. And then it dawned on me that these marriages that we are contracting and say, I don't get my own white man. Hey, my pikin don't get your own white man. My pikin don't get some person will come off for America. Hey, they don't get person for internet. It's dangerous, sisters and brothers. We don't know what those people are going out for. Chanceline says, stop giving birth to these children that you can't care for them. Yes, it is true. We need them in Sunday school, but they are not all come from your womb. They will not all come from your womb. That's true. Yes, Rachel. I also shouted, oh my God. There are some people, because I travel so often, I have had a lot of experience. You go to the airport, you will see people are waiting for somebody to come. Then one old rejected person will come like this, maybe on a wheelchair to come and marry your child. And then you see them dancing and being happy that they are getting married to a white man. White people are just like you and I. They live the same life that we live, my dear. There are rich ones and there are poor ones. There are frustrated ones, just like with us. When I go through the white man's country, I also see beggars. I also see people who are begging. Some of them sit by the road and they play music to raise money. Some of them are just begging. Some of them are also giving papers that they want to make their native doctors, just like us. There is no difference. Don't mind what you see on television. Don't mind what you see on television. When you go and sit on the internet and somebody hooks up with you and says they love you, they want to get married to you, just because the person is white, you fall for that person. You don't know you are delving into darkness. You don't know. You are just putting yourself, you are subjecting yourself to trafficking without knowing. There's no doubt some of those marriages have succeeded. Hey, Magnus, welcome, my dear brother. Some of those marriages have succeeded, but some of them, many more of them, are the people who have been gotten married to are suffering. Are suffering. They are suffering. So what do we think? Do we want our people to suffer like that? They are suffering. Let's stop looking for people to get married to our children we don't know. You see young boys, they will go to the internet and hook up with somebody's chatting with you. You don't even see the person. You just see pictures of somebody in a ship or whatever. Then you hook up with that person. The person will talk until you will go to the airport to go and receive somebody, and maybe you will receive somebody who is standing there with a dog, and actually you are getting married to that dog without knowing. Sometimes you see somebody who is very old, who is on a wheelchair. You see somebody who has no legs. You see somebody who has no eyes. Yes, those things are happening. Let's be careful. Please, 1 minute. Let me check on my grandson. I'm back. Yes, we are subjecting many people to suffering, and girls and young boys are subjecting themselves to suffering. Why is it that the young boys will not look for those old women back in Africa? After all, they have not said anywhere that only old men should marry young women, and old women cannot marry young boys. So if you are interested in an old elderly woman, look for in Cameroon, or an elderly man, look for in Cameroon. Don't go, or in your country. Don't go out and look for on the internet, and then you get married to somebody you don't know, and then one day you are suffering. There's a lot of slavery, modern slavery, that is going out. Many people have been subjected to rubbish, brothers and sisters, in the name of wanting greener pastures, in the name of marriage. Let us make marriage what God wanted it to be, rather than subjecting ourselves to slavery. Our topic again: are you promoting modern slavery, human trafficking? That is our topic. And we started off by looking at this from the family. We have said a lot about it. Before I move, I will soon be moving towards the close. But before I get there, I want us to look at, we have talked about child sex trafficking. There are many people who are recruiting children to traffic them for sex. When an old man is taking care of your baby, who is a girl, be careful, even a boy. These days are evil, my brothers and sisters. They are evil. Forced labor, we have talked about it. Forced labor, sometimes it is also referred to as labor trafficking. We have said so much about it. Now, instead of me going back to look at the different types, I want us to do a kind of resume again, so that people who just came in and people who are coming in now will understand. Yes, Magnus says they are interested in the money of the old. Yes, you are right. Who said that when God made woman, he made us to come and help the men so that we can become rich? We can together work and build a better family. He did not say that you should come and get married into a ready-made home. When God created woman, Adam was not already in a ready-made home. No. When God created Eve, Adam was still naked and in the forest. He was not in a posh home with everything. That is the example we should follow. People, when you come, and when God created woman, the only thing that they said that time was that this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I will name her woman. God did not create her to go and meet property. So we should stop running after money. Money is a root of all evil. Now let's look at what we are discussing. We are saying that trafficking in people is modern slavery. And when I started, I told all of us that we should not look at the words trafficking, human trafficking, or the word slavery. Because sometimes when we hear these big words, we don't want to put ourselves inside. I said that we should look at it practically from a practical point of view. Let's contextualize, domesticate these words and use them in our context. Then I started from the village. In the village, you will see some people who are able to, who have something to eat, who have been blessed. You will see them, they will go and select and take people from their family, children from their families, come with the children to their homes, and they will turn the children to slaves. You will see somebody who has something to eat, who is viable in the village. He will be recruiting people. When somebody comes to their house to visit to eat, they will go into the room there and take stale food and give to them, whereas their children are eating good food. That is slavery. You will want the children in the village to work on your farm. There are some people in the villages, everybody, all the poor women are working in their farm. They don't even pay. You have to pay for that and pay well. Some of them, all the children in the village come and eat in their home. And because before they give them a loaf of bread, the children have to clear the compound, clean, do everything. They subject the poorer people to slavery, to modern slavery in the name of helping. And the people too, they subject themselves because they are just working because they want to have bread to eat. And then some of them, their parents say, go, I bet you know what, for the go for big man house. You never go big man house today. You send your child to go and suffer. Yes, some people can be so wicked, Joy. There are so many wicked people out there. Then you make the children, they come to your home, you have food, you don't even give them some to take back. You have to take rotten food that you cooked some days back and give them while your children are eating fresh food. Some of those children will come to stay in your home. Then they will be sleeping on the floor while there's space on the bed. They will not even have a place to sleep. You will not even give them a bed sheet to put on the floor. What? Yeah, Magnus says, I would like you to talk about child labor from an African perspective. Yes, I will talk about it. This is child labor. When you take somebody in your home and you are subjecting that child to work that your own children cannot do, that is child labor, because you are subjecting somebody's child to labor, hard labor, useless, non-decent work. Welcome, Faith. Child labor also is, sometimes we in Africa, Magnus, thank you for that point. We in Africa, we have subjected our children to working to pay their fee. You will hear somebody will say that this child, that's modern slavery. That's another form of modern slavery. That this, I beg the picking, when they come on holiday, they get to work for pay their fee. And nothing is suffer with them. Did they ask you to deliver them? Now they may ask you for born them, when you be said they must work before they go to school. They must work before they chop. Granted, your children can assist you, but it should not be punished, it should not be punitive. I gave an example of something one experience I had sometime. In Bamenda, I was sitting at Ghana Street, and I saw a young girl around 9 p.m. selling granules. The granules were no longer much, so I bought them for 1.15 because it was already almost finished in the tray. She measured and it was 1,500. I bought all of that because I wanted that little girl to go home. And then I asked her, do you go to school? Yes. You go to school. So when you are still out like this at 9 o'clock, when are you going to read? And when are you going to rest for school tomorrow? She said, I sell like this every day. Then I told her, go home. I bought all these peanuts because I want you to go home and rest. She went home. As she was leaving, there were some people, in fact, some people who were officers sitting on that same table. As the child went, I turned and I was telling people that I really feel bad that we are subjecting our children to this kind of thing. This child can sell, but not, the child can sell for 1 hour and go back home. This child is moving at this hour of the night. The child is exposed to sexual harassment, to rape, to drugging, to all bad habits that she can learn. And you just subject the child to these things. You are exposing the child to these things. And also, when the child goes back now, when will the child rest? When will the child study? And tomorrow when the child is not doing well in school, they will blame the child. As I was talking, one officer attacked me violently and told me off. I said, that child is supposed to work to help the parents, supposed to work to, that is, Magnus, that is our own perception of help, but that is our own form of slavery. Now the child is exposed, going around with granules, some carry kola nut, some carry how they call lotus pepper. They are going around at midnight. A child is moving. In Yaoundé, where I live, I see this too often. At midnight, a child is moving around with kola nut, bitter kola on their head, with match, with certain things, in the name of selling to contribute to the running of the house. That child does not have to pay a price before they eat. They don't have to pay a price before they go to school. They don't have to pay a price before they live comfortably in their home. They did not write for them to be delivered, my dear brothers and sisters. We have turned child assistance by our children into slavery without knowing. And we are so comfortable to say that my children, they did work their fear when picking a common holiday, they did sell books for me. And yes, let them sell, let them assist you in a reasonable manner. You will see a child will be sitting in the marketplace from morning till midnight, till the child is sleeping. When the child wants to sleep, you beat and say, this lazy child, you are so lazy. What are you still doing here? Can you imagine that? And then we do that, and at the end of the day, we look at some people as now that people that make slavery. See, the way that picking the son of the house, when we see another child suffering, we are pointing fingers, looking at they, but not looking at yourself. Look, this talk that we started, I will start to do a kind of resume so that all of us will be locating ourselves in it. In the village, what are you doing? Do you think that God has blessed you more and you are not able to bless another person except that person is punished to work so hard for you, or that person's child works so hard for you? Are you that person who is blessed and yet you want everybody to be working to honor you, respect you? You want to stand on the head of everybody, step on the toes of everybody, punish everybody, punish people's children, take young girls and subject them to inhuman treatment because you think that you have much more? If you are doing that, that is modern slavery. And that is trafficking, because you have taken those children from their parents and you are misusing them. If you are a neighbor to people who are behaving like this to children and you are quiet, you are not shouting out against it, I see you, ma'am, welcome. You are not talking against this, then you are condoning it. And when you condone it, know that at the end of the day, at the end of the world, God is going to ask you. When I was hungry and I was suffering, I was subjected to inhuman treatment in that house. What did you do? You didn't do anything. We are doing it. If you are quiet about it, you are condoning it. I am challenging all of us to start talking about it. Because when you stay quiet, you are condoning it and you are a party to that slavery. If you see a neighbor rough handling a child, speak out and let that neighbor hate you. If possible, report. If possible, look for that child's parents and ask that those parents should come and take their child. Many of us, some of us from towns, both men and women, especially women, go back home and recruit children from our families. We recruit children from our family under the name of wanting to help our family members. We sugarcoat the slavery by saying, I want help. I beg my family that is suffer. Yeah, you not get space for your house where you go take picking for. You know the fine babysitter. You know the fine house girl. You know the fine sales girl. I get plenty for my family. Yeah, really? What have you done to help them? Okay, God has blessed you, and these people have delivered children they cannot help. How often have you helped those children? Have you taken one of those children to pay in school? How often have you contributed to helping those children? Do you only contribute by taking them and giving them out as house girls, sales girls or sales boys, as babysitters? To those of us who stay in towns, they have codenamed our children anglophone. They know how to take care. Je veux un anglo, je veux un bamenda, je veux un boya, je veux un this. Are you contributing to that? When they come and talk to you, do you tell them that they should stop doing that? Or you want your children and your friends' children to be going to school, and some other children who were delivered under the same conditions like yours suffer? They don't go to school so that your children will always lord on them. Do you bring these children to your home and then you ridicule them to the extent that your children also insult and say, see that one there, illiterate fools, this and that, whereas that girl is taking care of your children to go study? Are we doing that? Faith says our children are supposed to be hardworking and responsible, but not at the expense of their lives. We have to treat children right and equally. Trafficking is fast becoming rampant these days. Yes, my daughter. It is so rampant. And some people do it knowingly, ignorantly. Some do it knowingly. We have to stop it. Our children have to be hardworking. After all, we teach our children to work and help us. It is good for their future, but it should not be punitive. If your child is selling with you in your shop when they come from school and they come to your shop to assist you, and then they stay there until when you are closing, that is punitive. Because when the child comes back from school, the child has to rest a bit. They have to rest. When they rest, they have to eat, rest, and then when they wake up, they can help you at home. Do a bit of house chores, and then read, and then rest to go back to school tomorrow. That child is schooling, for crying out loud. Some of us, when our children are going to school, you tell them, when you come back, follow us to the farm. The child will come from school. Schooling is work. Then they will come to the farm and work throughout. Then when they come back home, they don't even have good food to eat. Some children go to bed after midnight, and by 4 a.m. they have to rise because they will take care of the house chores before they go to school. Some of the children that we have taken to come and help us in our homes, we subject them to such human treatment that the child is last to sleep while our children are sleeping. The child has not eaten good food. The child is last to sleep and does not even sleep on a good surface. And then the child is first to wake up. If you are a businesswoman, let's say some women who cook food, the child has to wake up and put all the pots of your food on the fire, and then prepare all the plates that you have to sell with, carry the food, go and keep in your marketplace before they come back and prepare themselves for school. Really? And sometimes they are doing that while our own biological children are sleeping. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame. Your children are sleeping and you are punishing other people's children. That is modern slavery, sisters and brothers. We are talking about it. That is child labor. Child labor. That is child labor. Some of us, we take people's children to our house. We remove even our everything that we have. The children do everything. They wash the dresses of our children. We buy so many dresses for our children. We don't even buy for them. They wash our children's dresses. They don't even have theirs to wash. Shame on us. Shame on us. Then we also have some people who take children and then give to people like house girls. You go back to the village, you take children from the village, you go and give to your friends and to unknown people in town, to like house girls, like sales boys, sales girls. These children are selling in the shop. They have to go to the shop as early as 5 a.m. to clean the shop, open the door. They have to be running between the shop and the magazine to bring things, and the packing stores to bring things when people buy. They have to be the ones to run, to advertise, to look for customers. So the child spends the whole day on their legs. They don't even have the opportunity to eat. You don't even give them. They are making so much money for you, and you are not even giving them 100 francs to buy food and eat. And then at the end of the day, if this child were to mistakenly take 100 francs and buy even water to drink, you will punish the child until, and then you would have to cut 100 francs from that child's pay, including interest. And then with the punishment that he or she stole your 100 francs. And the worst of it is that at the end of the day, you are not even paying the salary to that child, that girl or boy. You are paying to the whoever family member went and brought that child to you. Maybe you negotiated, say 50,000 at the end of the month, and when you pay to that person, the person will take 40,000, put in their pocket, then will take 10,000, maybe send 5,000 to that person in the village, to the parents of the child, and say, no, I'm keeping 5,000 to give to her and will never give. Shame on us. If you are a literate person, or you are well-to-do, or you have affluence, and you behave like this, God is going to ask you questions. Deuteronomy 24:14 says, we should not be harsh to slaves in our house. We should not be harsh to Israelites in our house. We should not be harsh to people who labor for us. Those are the words from the Bible, brothers and sisters. They are not Tilda's words. If we read these things, why do we do those things? If you are recruiting, if you want to help your family members, you give the children to somebody who will give that child decent work and will be able to pay that child. Even if they're paying that child 10,000, the 10,000 should go to that child, and that child should be treated like human. Faith says, let me read, Farm Faith says, some of these people give these children out and they are maltreated, while you who brought them receive payment for all. Yes, just what I'm saying. Their needs are not met because their masters think they have paid for the work. Yes, my dear, you just took those words from my mouth too. We reason the same. That is true. And I'm sure you are talking from experience. You are staying with somebody's child, your children, the child is taking care of your house. You think that the child has no right to go to school. The child is taking care of your house. Why can't you also send this child to school, my dear? Who tells you that at the end of time, when you shall be dying, it's only your biological children who will take care of you? My mommy, I am so happy. I have million children who will take care of me. When I'm talking about my children, I don't even think of my biological children. Because when you take care of other people's children, it's a blessing, sisters and brothers. Now, I want to challenge those employers. When you employ somebody's child to you and you are paying the salary to somebody, check if that child is seeing that salary. Why don't you even open an account for that child's salary, and every month you go and put the money there and let the child sign the money if you want to really truly help that child? If you who went and took this child from the village, if you truly wanted to help that child, why don't you open an account so that his or her salary is deposited there, and then she is a signatory to that account? She can use the money as she wants. She has a right to her money. She has to be paid for her labor, or him. According to Faith says, don't place a curse on your children by treating others' children poorly. Yes, my beautiful girl, that is true. Some of us have placed curses on our children like this because of the way we treat our children, other people's children. When you are treating other people's children roughly, you are by another way saying that your children should suffer. Some people, let me give you an example. Some of these big people who have been living with people's children in their homes, but then training their children. All those children who were living in their home have become better people, and their children have become useless. If you can think, my dear sisters and brothers, if you can reflect in your neighborhood, you will see that some of those children who were growing up and thinking that they were from rich families, they have become useless today. And some of those children who were suffering in their homes, who were slaves in their homes, they have become better people. And in some cases, these are even the children who, at the end of the day, take care of the old age of those people who are treating them poorly. So Faith is right when she says that we should not curse our children by treating other people's children poorly. She is very right. We should be careful. Very, very careful. There are so many big people who have names that have died and the names have disappeared because their children are a disappointment. Because you made your children little princes and princesses. You made them little kings and queens at the expense of other people's children. Faith Farm says again, some of those biological children grow wayward while the poor ones keep getting better and better even in the midst of the hard times. Yes, you can say that again. We have many examples. You spoil your biological child and then you build another person's child in the name of punishment. Why are we so wicked like that? Do we think that the other child who is not your biological child was not carried for 9 months, was not delivered through labor, hard labor? Look, we have to change our mentality. Some of these people go to villages, recruit children, come and give to their friends, and their friends subject them. Like the example I gave of the girl who was in Bafusam selling meat. And each time they give her meat for 5,000, they say, you must bring back 5,000. If you don't come with 5,000, don't come back. Meaning that even if it means that she threw away the meat, she can even sleep with men to give her 5,000. If this child is is subjected to harsh treatment. She can give out the meat and then give out herself in order to get 5,000 and bring home. Really? And this girl was subjected to this until one day she was raped, multiple rape. And our office was called into it. That's how we knew. Are we doing these things? If you are in your neighborhood and you see people doing this, then you stay quiet. You are condoning this kind of slavery. You are condoning human trafficking. You are condoning modern slavery, and you are also part of it. So we have to start talking. Another way to stop condoning is even to share this video on your page. Share it on your page. Let people see it. Invite your friends to listen to this. Put comments on the comment box so that people can read. Like what Faith has just said, some of those biological children grow up wayward. Yes, somebody who is making that with her biological children, if they see this post and they read that comment, it will help them to change. Yes, some of those people who go and recruit people's children and then they are paying their salaries through them, they will see this and they will change. We need to inculcate good habits into people, because many of these people do these things without knowing. They don't even know that they are doing something wrong. They think that they are helping. Really? What kind of help is that? If you want to help me by subjecting my child to such inhuman treatment, then you better not help me. We have a guest who has come here. Yes, thank you, my dear. Share and invite your friends. It's very important because we are helping them. We are helping them to become better people. Look, we have a guest here. We help them to become better people. He came for me to open his program. We have to change our habits. We have to change. A lot is going on. Welcome, Peter. I see you. A lot is going on. We are treating people's children as if they are animals. But then let me talk again, Faith. Let me say something again. Some of our family members are doing witch hunting. You will see somebody who delivered 10 children. He is proud to announce to people that I have 5 wives, I have 20 children. But he is not proud to say that I have sent 10 children to school. He is not proud to say that I am taking care of those children. He looks at people in the family who have struggled with their children, and their children have become people and they are working in town. You will see witch hunting. They will start saying, see that one they work, it didn't even help, my pikin them. You will see in the context of they're not as if it was a condition that they should help. Whereas when those children were being brought up, those people did not contribute even a franc to take care of those children who have become better people today. Some widows will suffer with their children. Some parents will suffer with their children in the village. When their children become better people, family members who have just spent their time having sex and delivering children will bring witchcraft and they will start following up. Yes, they will start saying that they need help. They are not helping. We are suffering like this. I'm suffering with my children, and my sister's children are better off. My sister is doing well in town. He is doing nothing. Can you imagine? Faith says, chai attire. Oh, people forget to know that the things they do follow them every day of their lives, my dear. They forget to know that. Yes, I want to challenge those people. If you have people in your family who have resorted to they have become child machines. They are only marrying wives and they are only delivering children. You have to, please, 1 minute. Let me bring down this boy. You can hurt yourself. You can hurt yourself. You can hurt yourself. Stop doing that. You don't have to do that. You can hurt yourself. Take this. Take your program. So we have to go to them and tell them to stop. If you're a baby factory, you should be ready. You should have a strategy put in place on how you will not only be a factory, but you will be somebody who will make those babies to become better people. We have so many children in the world that are just useless. We have street children because some people have just delivered children and they have not, they have just delivered children packed full on streets, and they have not given these children the education and the things that these children need to become people. We have children who are trained, who are thieves today, who are drug dealers, just because some people have disturbed the world by delivering so many children. We have this. So We have to stop it. We have to start educating our families, brothers and sisters. Let's educate our families. Let's educate people that before you have children, you should be ready to handle those children. You should be ready to, you should not start a witch hunting where you are shaming and giving names to people because they have struggled and they have become people. You now want to tack your problem on them. We have to stop this. You can do it. You don't only have to sit in your office or in your house in town or at your hidden place and you are complaining. You should not complain without helping them. Sorry. You should not complain without helping them. You should complain by helping them, educating the people. Educate your family members to stop making children that they cannot take care of. If your family member is coming to you and wanting you to help them with their children, don't get angry and take their children, go and give in town because you want to retaliate and make their children suffer because the children did not right to suffer. Tell them, tell them straight to their face that if you are delivering children, you should take care of those children. Because some of them just think that delivering children is a good thing. They just go for sex and they don't even care what they will do after that. So instead of even helping these people, help them by educating them. Educate them. Let them know. Let them know that having too many children without taking care of them is a crime. Let them know that. What am I doing like that? Let them know that. Let them know that because it is so shameful that we are doing this in our society today, and it keeps going on and on. You cannot keep helping somebody. The Chinese people say that instead of giving somebody fish every day, teach that person how to fish. So we should let our people, rather than even giving your person money always, you can give them money to start a business so that they can start a business. You can make them to learn how to do beads, to start selling puff-puff or fish so that they can be raising money. Because if you keep giving them without letting them know that they have to work to raise their children, they will become dependent on you. And then when they're dependent on you, witch hunting comes in. Then they start bringing you problems for no reason. Or they start looking at their children with bad eye when they did not even contribute in bringing you up. This is so common. Those people who say, "One jump to something new, one jump to something new, you should be careful. This is dangerous. We need to educate." So if you are not educating your family members and you are only providing for them, you are not helping them. Let us join. Anybody who wants should join me in that education stream, and you can do it only within your family. You must not educate the whole world. Go back to your family, educate your people in your family. Educate them. Have family. What do you people discuss in family meetings? This is one of the things that should be a point of discussion in family meetings, where we go and sit and discuss a better way for our family. Challenge these people. If you deliver children, be ready to take care of those children. Challenge them. Use that in your family meetings. Educate. It is not enough to have a family meeting at the end of the year just to go and cook food, drink, dance, and sleep and discuss and laugh. Put educative points on your agenda so that you can create an awareness, and those people who are only out to deliver children and then yet they are not ready to take care of them, but they just want to be witch hunting, will stop that witch hunting. Then if you deliver children, again, to those people in the villages, when you deliver your children, be ready to take care of them. If you cannot train your child in school, you can train your child in farming, and that child will become a better person. You can train your child in other things. Education is not only formal, there's functional education. We should stop all this thing that is killing our society. Slavery is real, brothers and sisters. If you are having an organization where you have organized and you are putting signboards all over that we are recruiting, travel and work in Europe, travel and work greener pastures, you are advertising slavery to recruit people and put as slaves, you have to review. If you want to help people, genuinely help them. Some of those organizations really help, but some are just making money. Some are just making money. At the end of the day, when they have made their money, they don't care what has happened to those children. There are many girls who are suffering and boys who are suffering in Europe, in the Middle East today, sent by such organizations. If you are that kind of organization, You review your objectives and your strategies and do it in such a way that you have blessings. Truly help those children to get into greener pastures. Stop making money for yourself and you don't care about what is happening to those children, because that is what is happening. I gave those people who have just come now. When you will listen to this video from the beginning, you will see examples. I gave many examples. I travel a lot because of my work. I have traveled, I've met girls going to Jeddah in the Middle East. They don't even know where they are going to. They just know that somebody, an organization in Boya, recruited them and is sending them to go and work. Where do you want to work? We don't know. Who will receive you? They said they will receive us at the airport. If they don't, you don't see somebody to receive you, how will you come back? Well, we will come back with our flight. When I look at the flight ticket, it was one way, paid one way. Whereas the parents had given money for both ways. And these girls were shocked because they discovered when we were chatting at the airport, just because we had a transit and I saw the way they were miserable. I wanted to help them, actually, to put them in the terminal where they would take their flight. And then we started this discussion. And they were shocked that they had a one-way flight. They did not even look at it. So parents, when you go to such organizations to help your children, you have to follow up. Follow up. Stop behaving like dummies. Stop behaving like fools. When you go to follow up and be sure that your child is going to a right person, let that organization show you, if possible, make you communicate with that organization that is wherever that your child is going to work there. Let them give the job description of your child. Let you be the one to discuss the terms of that work. Know the work. Many children have been sent into prostitution like that. Many children have been sent into that dancing in stripper shop. I once was in Geneva, and then I was shocked when somebody told me that in the night here in this Geneva, people go, the things that happen under this. We were passing through in front of a house. Then I said, I wonder why these doors are always so locked like this. Do people stay there, or are they shops, or why are they never open? They told me that they open from midnight. I said, really? And then they told me, if you want to know what is here, we are for the UN, the United Nations Human Rights Council. They said, if you want to know what is happening here, you say you're a human rights defender, you visit this place at night. At night, we went there. I said I wanted to see. I was shocked because I saw girls and boys that I know from Bamenda dancing naked on stage. That's how they make their money, and then they send back to Africa. We take it and we run around saying that my brother there for Bengwai, my sister there for Bush. Some of us have promoted this because when these children even work this kind of nasty jobs and send money, we use it carelessly. Some of them send money for us to buy a plot and build a house. We don't buy a plot, we don't build a house, we don't do anything for them. And then they use their bodies. At the end of the day, they come back home sick, or they die and nothing is left. My dear Faith, it is something to cry. When we entered that strip shop, that stripper's shop, they call it Go-Go Club. We were masked because we did not want, they told us that if we enter there like that, they will see and know us. Somebody can see and know, and they can easily shoot you because they know that you will go back home and tell them, this boy, don't disturb Jeremy. They know that you will go back home and you expose them. So they told us that they told us to wear masks. So I was sitting with one funny old face cap that I blocked my face, and we sat there, and I was shocked. I left that place crying. I could not even support sitting there for long. So when somebody comes and says, I'm taking your child to greener pastures, try to know how green the pastures are. Don't just hear greener pastures or working in America or in Europe or in Middle East, and then you send your child. In the Middle East, some of them are just prostitutes. They go and seize their documents and they force them to sleep with dogs. They force them to work. They are working, and some of them are in chains. They chain them, and then men come and sleep with them and pay. So don't subject your child to that. It is not greener pastures. We also have greener pastures in our places. And I'm using this to challenge. Welcome, Neu. I'm using this to challenge us, the young women and men. Don't subject yourself into slavery, into modern slavery. Learn to work. Most young people do not have the culture of work. They don't want to work. They are not working. They have refused to work. And so they spend all their time wanting to have money without working. If you want to have money without working, sisters and brothers, know that you will be able to, you will run into trouble, because you will have money, but then you will kill yourself. Like the example of what I faced in Paris, where we met a girl running Seriously, when we stopped and asked her, why were you running and where are you coming from? She said, that was in 2008. She said she was she originated from Cameroon and I almost disappeared in the car. And then when we asked her, she said she got married to one white man. They met on internet. She got married to the white man. The white man came here, seized all his documents, and has subjected her to be sleeping with a dog. This is reality, I'm telling you, sisters. And then we did not even know how to help the girl. We only carried the girl out up to Paris and left her there to look for a way. I have been to Germany. Some have told me that, Mom, if I had my way, if there was a way for me to enter your briefcase, I will enter and go back home. How did you come here? I came here, I left a good job at home, and I came here thinking that I was planning to succeed. What I do? No. Don't do that. And then, don't do that. And then coming to succeed, and I've come here and I've not succeeded. I'm really suffering. I am doing this and that. So we need to be careful, parents. When you are giving your child to go for greener pastures, try to follow up. It is not a bad thing to want greener pastures for your child. But follow up. Look at what you have done, Jeremy. Stop that. You have to follow up. I'm sorry, this boy. You have to follow up. You have to be sure that your child is going to have to actually have a good place. Your child is going to have a good job. Why not negotiate with that person? The girls and boys who subject themselves to this, there's a lot for us to do. You can do it. We have developed the culture of consumers. We consume, we don't produce. If you cannot make it in our place, you cannot make it anywhere. We consume a lot and we don't produce. Hey, Aunt Lucy, thank you. So beautiful. Just love all that makeup. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. So we need to check ourselves. Let us check. Is it relevant for me to do this? I have seen people in France, in Paris, who are selling corn. They boil corn and put in a bag and they are moving around like they are going for a stroll and they sell. You can also sell that corn in Cameroon and you make it. I've seen people who are roasting corn. I've seen people who are standing at the metro to beg. My dear, you can. I've seen in this country, they have in the Western world, they have their own modern way of begging. Somebody comes out and is singing, play music by the metro, and then people give him money. You can also do it in your country. We don't have to subject ourselves to slavery. Now, if we go out to the Western world and we can do all those jobs we could name in our country menial jobs, why can't we do them in Cameroon, in Africa, in other countries? Why can't we do them and do them well? Even though when we are doing them, some of the people who employ us, ill-treat us in the process. Like these security guards, I said it already. In some security guard companies are thieves. They go and contract a big payer, a big company. They are paying so much money and then they recruit young people, put them to be sleeping with a baton, sleeping every day, having sleepless nights for security, but then at the end of the month, they pay them very little. And Lucy says a lot of people don't care so far as they will also be called bushfaller. My dear, that bushfaller, someone a grass faller, or someone even desert faller. If you cannot do it somewhere where you are coming from, you have to be proud of where you're coming from. Try to do it. I'm pleading on us. We are talking on, they call it what? We are talking on slavery, modern slavery, trafficking. And I be talk from beginning. Say, make we leave this big word trafficking. May we leave the big word modern slavery. May we contextualize it. May we appropriate it. May we domesticate the words. And I start by saying, if you dey for your house, where some money picking this, stay for your house. You walk, now you clean house, you wake up for 4 a.m., walk till midnight. That one a modern slavery. And if the work say you need to give chop. Yes, they will na grass faller. Some people they fall grass and they fall bush. Yes. And the Rachel says at times we need only concentration in our own country. Yes, my dear, we need that. We need that. If you get picking for your house where they picking no the chop, but they walk past all man, sleep late, woke up early, you're picking the sleep for bed fine, the gas, the chop fine chop, that picking the chop stale chop, you are practicing modern slavery. Somebody the works late for your house. If you be that woman where you dey recruit people that picking them, say you want help them, take and go get, or man, take and go get like sales picking them, they pay their money for the work through you, where they picking them, they get any franc. They pay small through you, they pay you, you take the money, take small, send them for your parents and for shut out their mouth. Then they picking the suffer. You are a slave master and you are practicing modern slavery. Now the thing that we talk about, we need to talk about something where you dream for air. If you be person where you don't decide, say you go frustrate any picking way there around you. That is, some of we the frustrate with picking them, with the frustrate picking them because you the be say when you want help any man picking, the picking get for work until he on camp. If you be that kind person, I dey tell you say you get for be careful. You get for be careful because why? Because at the end of the day, now excuse me, small, I want connect charger. At the end of the day, God will ask you, say, what you be do with me when you be see me, where I not get place for go. I be need to make some person take me, man, work for your house. I be come for your house, so you be make me as suffer, or you be make me enjoy. They go ask you. If you be that mommy, that papa, or that person where you reach small, you there for your quarter, you be say before you give chop for that old papa where they can't visit you, you go talk for the papa, stay coach the papa, or you go give in a chop where you don't sleep like 3 days. That is slavery and you be slave master. If you be that organization where it's set up, you dey collect people that are picking and send them for Europe, send them for Middle East in the name of greener pastures, in the name of recruitment, where you don't even know how they go. You the only struggle for make money, make a living for yourself. You are a slave master. You get for stopper. If you be that person where it take you the show for quarter, then you be that papa way because I don't see that one too. Now, good example, I will forget. If you be that papa way, you the show for quarter, they claim to be a very nice papa. You the fool mommy, then they can't leave their small girl picking them for you. You the left back, they touch their skin, they spoil their skin. You the do now, you don't subject those picking them for sex trafficking. You the pretend so you be good babysitter, you the help that their parents that they give you money, they take care of you, but then you the rough-handed they're picking them. God see you and God will punish you. If you be that person where you don't take picking them for your own personal picking them, you think say because you don't born 10 picking them, they picking and get for work their school fee, they picking and get for work before they chop. You did take picking the work till from 1st to 31st. When picking even go school, the driver fee picking come, you will talk say you get for you the driver you come for can't talk Miss Madueti. Carry a banana, go sell them before you pay a fee. Go for farm. You don't go find work for some woman family they pay you. Your friend that the work money. When some of we don't talk for we daughter, then so they come on go the prostitute so that may they be able to get money can give we. And when they get with the glad, you are a slave master. If you want me a picking sell granola, immediately picking come back from school, you put tray for granola for your head or bitter cola, or you put the color say wait, you put banana for your head, or you give lotus for your hand. Say me work a sell them. Picking start sell them from 2 o'clock when you come back from school till 9 p.m. or midnight. That one as you are a slave master. That one no be picking way it help you. No the build that picking, you destroy that picking because you expose that picking to different kinds of evil, and then you kill that picking gradually. Picking don't get time for rest. So when we hear say they call us when we hear say trafficking in people, we know they look and listen. Some of we don't know why man they do that one. We they do it every day for we communities. Many of we they do them and we need to know. We get for stop. We get for stop that fashion. That fashion the kiwi. If you be a slave master, stop it. Because if you don't stop them, God will ask you. Just like Bible talk say, Jesus be say, they will ask and say, I would another parable. That parable where they talk say, I was hungry, you did not give me food. I was thirsty, you did not give me to drink. I was homeless, you did not give me a house. They go talk say, Jesus go talk say, I was suffering in somebody's house and you saw it and stayed quiet. So you when you be onlooker, you don't talk so wait, you don't decide to talk say no be man. Anyway, now that people they do and so. Because some of we when I talk to some people say, tell the mom, and then they tell them and they talk now for we. I am telling us, me inclusive, all of we will check we self. Because we not be like Christian, they go shit up for church. They the only when the pastor they preach, they only talk say they the only look at that other person. The pastor don't preach today. When you remember, say don't talk for that person. You don't talk, this talk so correct now for that person. No. If they talk for you, talk for me. They talk, they go now for we all. And then they talk now for them. And they talk for we. We will don't so the look place. We will with the share of our pages, me with friend and see. We will with the discuss for year. May all we check with self because you feel they do slavery for your house where you don't know. If you don't take some person a picking, go get for some person, need the help you. Check that picking. Check that picking there for good conditions. Open account when they pay that picking money there. And you also check that picking whether that picking they fine. Because if you don't check that picking, so that picking they fine, it means that you contribute to slavery. And maybe you don't know. So all we move check with selves. All we so. May we check with selves. Check yourself. Yes, fair weather Christians, Elias. Fair weather Christians, my dear. There are so many of them. Deuteronomy 24:14 don't talk for will. It talks say, may we treat people that they work for a house fairly. Any man get Bible, go for they go read that. Bible don't talk and so. And Bible don't also talk, say, no push you picking them to wrath. If you push your children to wrath, when they react, no blame them. It means say, even that you are picking, you say you poor, you want for use, you are picking like slave, God will question you because God bless you with that picking a blessing. That picking not be your slave. If you the born picking them plenty, careful. Because when plenty, man will chop plenty, get for shit plenty. When you born plenty picking them, you get for take care of those picking them. No picking look another man means take care of it picking them. When they picking them, don't can be better people, they start work. You start follow them with witchcraft, say they look how you're picking them. That is wrong. Now, all we go church, everybody on Sunday morning come and see how people are holy in churches. Why is it that we are treating some people like slaves when we are so holy in church? Why do we have thousands of faces? I beg, may always start getting one face. And don't say all man go find small place where he fall for day. Always so. Any man go find small place where don't do something way wrong. But my dear, it is never too late to change and restart the engine. Even engine for motor, when it don't fail, they build and back. We always build back with fashion. Build back with fashion, start do what is right. Build back your fashion and do what is right. May we try for do what will be right. May we stop being onlookers where we be Christians, fair weather Christians. My dear, if you be a fair weather Christian, if you are a fair weather Christian, check yourself. Check yourself. Ask yourself, say, this way where they live so. At the end of time, God will talk, say, wait for me. I did respect wait way God talking for me. Ask yourself. No be that people the way they talk, they want some people that they copy now what the way they here now what the way they talk. Don't be what they do. Anything where you talk and do them. If you talk and do them, anything where you talk, do them. Because not only when you do them, people that they see say you do good thing. My dear, when you pass for your quarter, what the people that they talk about you? Do they say that see that woman where all man where they stay in house they suffer? See that woman where in they feed that picking that they stay in house? See that woman where they buy clothes for a picking and then they buy for a sister picking where they stay for you? See that woman where picking they go school that picking that they stay in house and then they go school? See that woman where do this? See that woman where do this? If you be where you the pass of quarter that they talk so for you, then now indicator say some problem there for you and you get for checker. So as we go to an end, I want we for each put a mirror for one. Check yourself. Yes, faith says corrected steps are better than staying in wrongdoing. Yes, my dear, you are right. May we correct with steps for any little way. If you don't look some money picking or some other human being like it be a subhuman, you get for correct yourself. Because now that idea, the way once you start look, say you better pass some people, now for day where you treat people wrong. Any idea where you consider for your hate, it remote control you the way you act. So as we go towards an end, we'll check with ways, check with fashion. You the rough handle your picking them, how you treat your picking them, how you treat other man picking. You the help people by making them slaves. If you the help people by making them slaves, I tell you, deny that word says help. It means that you need to help them, you subject them to nonsense in the name of wanting to help them. If you be that kind of person, my dear, be careful. So make we stop. Make all of we contribute to stopping trafficking in human beings, to stopping this kind of modern forms of slavery by either stopping our attitudes and we would carry out where they be bad, or by speaking out against it. Let us speak out against slavery. Modern slavery is killing the world, is deconstructing the world of God, where God created with so much love. Modern slavery is deconstructing the world. It is killing people, and people are suffering. My dear brothers and sisters, I mean, this is some man will talk, say he won't come online. Since no man ever come online for talk, but plenty of people that don't contribute, I think say we'll get for change with fashion. We fit change with fashion, and we can change our fashion by simply doing what is right. As I dey go for close, I go play that song for we again, say you must die. When I know that song, we don't play, hey Tasha, you are coming in when I'm almost going. But the video will be on my page. When I remember that song where I be play, I'm say you must die. That song say you must die. That powerful song where that song all we get for listening to that song and for respect the words of that song. Because we get for ask ourselves, say, what will it do where it kill ourselves? What are we doing that people are suffering because of that? If you are doing something that somebody is a slave because of that, then you are a slave master. And because of that, you are sinning. You are not doing what the Bible wants you to do. So let's listen to this song. And when we listen now, make we try to change the way. This song, the title is You Must Die. Everybody must die, and after death is judgment. Death is sure, and judgment is certain. So as we live on this earth, what will we do? We will help you out. Look at what they are doing. I've told you that you will fall. Increasing widows and widowers. A word of offense. What is it like to die? Yes, you must die to pass to eternity. Yes, you must die to claim God's plan. Yes, you must die, cause it's appointed once for man to die. Yes, you must die. Ooh. Yes, we must die. So how are you living your life today? How do you live your life? Are you living your life conscious that you will die one day? If you are conscious, you will not make slaves of people. Every day we see people in pain around the world. Every day we see all suffering everywhere. Yeah, life is full of misery all the time. Let's lend a hand, a helping hand to all the people who need a help. I tell you, yes, people need our help. Yes, you must die to claim God's land. Yes, you must die, because it's appointed to one man to die. Yes, you must die. How are you doing this? Are you doing this? How are you letting your hand? I don't think you can lay your hand just like sitting out against slavery and culture. Human trafficking is too far about it. Yes, like that. Control. Yes. Yeah. You look at them and insult, but it could have been you. With our children. Because these children never chose to be on the street. Yes. Every day we meet widows and widowers, as well as people living in abject poverty. Sometimes our different cultures and beliefs give names to these people. Are you calling them names? It is time for you and I, my dear brothers and sisters, get on the street and change the situation. Feed someone you do not know. Love someone you do not know. Educate a child you do not know. And just prepare for your death by caring for those who have been affected by death. Death and the cause of misery everywhere. It strikes uncertainty all the time. It strikes fear into the hearts of many. Believe in God and take His word. For death is sure, and after that is judgment. To pass to eternity. To claim God's land. Yes, you must die. Cause it's appointed to one so man to die. Yes, you must die. Yes, we must die. Yes, we must die someday. Life on earth is sweet and deceitful. People are easily taken away from the ways of the Lord. But life is short and death is sure. And thereafter is judgment. Judgment to condemnation or judgment to restoration. My dear brothers and sisters, will you be judged to condemnation or to restoration? Beware. Yes, you must die to pass to eternity. Yes, you must die to claim God's land. Yes, you must die. Because it's appointed you once for man to die. Yes, you must die. Yes, we must die. So what are we doing? Are you that person who is who does not know that one day you're going to die? If we're that kind of person, we should change our lives. Let's change the narrative. You can change it even now. It's never too late to change. Treat everybody with respect. Stop treating other people like slaves. There's nobody who is a slave. All of us are children of God. There is nobody who is the stepchild of God. All of us are children of God. So let us change this narrative by doing things that are acceptable. You can do it. Do things that are acceptable in God's eyes, in God's sight. Be a nice person. Thank you so much and have a blessed week. Have a blessed rest of the week. God bless you all. This video will be posted on my page and you can visit it as many times as you want. Thank you very much, Elias. God bless you.